happening in education settings. It's happening in the way in which, for example, Māori TV puts its programs on here. It's happening in all sorts of different settings. There's a fundamental reorganisation of Matauranga Maori taking place now anyway, and this is to be embraced and encouraged. Okay, so I've been talking about this thing called the creative potential of Matauranga Maori. Obvious question is, what is Matauranga Maori? What do we mean by these words when we use them? Where I suggest that we don't necessarily all mean the same thing when we use these terms Matauranga Maori. When I first started at Te Wānau Ōrauka in 1996, I was given the role of running a master's program in Matauranga Maori. So, of course, like a good little academic, I ran off and went to the library to find a book called Matauranga Maori. And there is no such thing, of course. What was even more disturbing is it was incredibly hard finding usages of this term going back in history. You could find lots of usages in the 1990s, in the late 1980s, but around 1900 or 1860 or something like that, very hard to find usages of this term Matauranga Maori. I actually spent a heck of a long time trying to find usages of the term Matauranga Maori and therefore try and create interpretations of what is meant when we use these terms in history. Interestingly enough, our current crop of elders and the elders of the last 10 or 20 years had no idea what Matauranga Maori is. They never heard the terms when they were children. I asked my granduncle once whether his father would know what Matauranga Maori is. And my granduncle said to me, he actually said this in Māori, he said, e kore rawa tapu pāpā e mōhio he hatini me te Matauranga Maori, he rita ki te ika kaore e mōhio ana he hatini me te wai. My father would have no idea what Matauranga Maori is. Now, his father was a graduate of the Ngāpuhi Whare Wānanga. My father would have no idea what Matauranga Maori is. He was like a fish that has no idea what water is. Completely inside the stuff. Completely inside the stuff. Now, in there lies a little clue for us about why these terms have come about and why we continue to use them today. It captures Matauranga Maori, the usages of the term demonstrate the distance we have come as a people in our relationship to our own knowledge. Where once we were immersed and didn't even understand that there was even a phenomena called knowledge in the world, we've moved now to step out of it and had to coin a phrase which now captures that thing we now look back on. And that's largely, that's all kind of roughly why we have a term called Matauranga in itself and Matauranga Maori. There are lots of really interesting little epistemological questions just in that territory I've just described just there.